My name is Ashley Valentine, and I want to thank you for reviewing my organization profile of Walden University. The mission of Walden University is to provide a diverse community of career professionals with the opportunity to transform themselves as scholar practitioners so that they can effect positive social change. The structure and culture begins during the student life cycle, where collaboration and communication between the structural units exhibit true culture to create a seamless, student-centered experience. A history of the timeline of milestones begins in 1970 when Walden is founded by Bernie and Rita Turner. In 1972, Walden confers 46 PhDs and 24 EDDs at its first commencement in Naples. In 1979, the Minnesota Higher Education Coordinating Board approves Walden's request for licensure. Walden is allowed to grant PhDs and EDDs in Minnesota. In 1984, the curriculum is restructured to emphasize how professions are affected by social change. In 1990, Walden is accredited through the North Central Association of Colleges and Schools. In 2008, the College of Education is named the Richard W. Riley College of Education and Leadership in honor of the former U.S. Secretary of Education. In 2011, President Bill Clinton addresses graduates at the 46th Annual Commencement Ceremony. And in 2012, the Richard W. Riley College of Education and Leadership and its educator preparation programs are accredited by the National Council for Accreditation of Teacher Education. Walden receives reaffirmation of accreditation from the Higher Learning Commission, which grants accreditation to Walden for 10 more years in the year 2013. In 2015, Walden introduces Temple Learning and offers the nation's first competency-based Masters of Science in Early Childhood Studies program using the direct assessment model. Walden becomes only the 6th institution with direct assessment approval by the U.S. Department of Education. In 2016, the School of Social Work and Human Services is renamed the Barbara Solomon School of Social Work and Human Services in honor of Dr. Barbara Solomon and recognition of her impact on the social work profession and her service to Walden as a longtime board member. In 2017, the Northeast and Southeast enrollment teams combine to form the Mid-Atlantic enrollment team, and this is the change that we are going to review. Why the change? Well, to better serve our students and strengthen communication throughout the enrollment teams. Taking action. Leadership had anticipated there to be some resistance, which is why they tried to keep all information limited until everyone was together to find out. Strategies used to communicate this change was allowing staff to know that the change was coming, but not necessarily communicating to what effect all at once. The initial unveiling of the new teams took place at a meet and greet at the Baltimore Ravens football stadium. All employees watched a small presentation and then were named which new team they were to go to. Some stayed the same, some had new managers, some had new programs. With a company, it's impossible to please everyone. Leadership attempted to combat the negative feelings that may have occurred when implementing the shift in teams and the new work location by being proactive and identifying the resistance that could potentially be encountered during the joining both the North and South teams into one building and becoming the Mid-Atlantic team, which was to be expected. For instance, one key form of resistance was due to the new location. Travel for some staff members changed and the commute became no longer viable for them. Other hesitations came about from advisors who now had to report to a new manager or learn a whole new program. There was even an us versus them mentality that came from intermixing the teams, especially the undergraduate teams. Speculations and unfair conclusions were drawn about team members that led to tension from the beginning. Rumors about the different work ethic strategies circulated and put a strain on the new working relationships. Sustainment. Although this change was going to happen at all costs, our managers did implement strategies to institutionalize and sustain the change by having weekly team huddles that included all the enrollment advisors. Managers acknowledged the hard work and retraining some of the advisors had to undergo in order to fulfill their new roles on their new teams and helped to celebrate their successes. They allowed for playful competition to be implemented among the different teams. They also offered a team work from home day once a week that would rotate days every quarter, which I believe helped to alleviate some of the commute for staff members who now had to travel further. Successes. In my opinion, this change was a success, and I believe leadership would agree. Having the two undergrad teams working closely side by side has allowed for a much more seamless experience for our students. We are all working more as one big team and help tag team the phone calls that come in more efficiently. It is nice having a working relationship and a face to go with the name of an enrollment advisor who may have left notes about a student or who is transferring a call to me. Improvement. Looking back over the effectiveness of the change process, I feel there were some instances that could have been improved, and others I feel were right on point. The improvement could have come from the change leaders not necessarily trying to make everything a surprise. I certainly believe that some of us were blindsided when it came to having to move teams and finding out in front of everyone where you cannot mask your feelings. I also believe the initial move procedure was quite clever, though. The university implemented move leaders who were in charge of making sure everyone's bins were packed and placed in the correct areas, allowing staff members to leave one building at the end of their shift and arrive at a new building at the next start of their shift. They also had teams stagger their report days and work from home days to accommodate the other half and limit distractions of people moving and attempting to settle into their new desks. In conclusion, this change is reflective because it shows we are attempting to grow in the best way to better assist our students. There was no real need for two locations when servicing the same area. However, enrollment being located in one site now allows for a more cohesive working environment and students benefit in the long run. Leadership has done a great job of instilling that aspect of this change. Amongst having the enrollment advisors located at the same site to allow for a closer working relationship, the other departments, such as admissions, financial aid, and some of the academic advisors, are within the same building, which allows for us to have the ability to walk across the hall if we need clarification instead of solely relying on email traffic. Tones can be misconstrued when strictly going off of text. Now that we are located in the same building, it allows for a rapport that can help eliminate these types of misunderstandings. Thank you very much for viewing my presentation, and if you have any questions, please go ahead and leave them in the comments.